Have you been hanging out with many other bands on this Soundwave tour? Like I know Vinnie Paul comes down to your shows all the time in Vegas.
Vinnie Paul's a nut. All right.
Does he party harder than you?
Are you kidding? I think he was masturbating on a koala when I got off the plane. The guy's a crazy nut, and he parties harder than anybody I know. I've never seen that guy not drunk.
Ever?
Ever.
Do you actually feel a bit dwarfed by it?
He is so heavy metal that he always is just always heavy metal. He's prepared for any situation there is. When the koala was out there, he was heavy metaling all over the koala.
And you know, the thing is, if Vinnie Paul was like a grocery store clerk or a shoe salesman, people would just call him a mess and a drunkard. But he's a fucking badass because he's a drummer.
He's like the coolest drummer ever.
You could be as drunk as you want when you're a drummer.
That's right.
All the time.
Yeah, another word for that is called a drunker. Because if you have sticks and you're playing the drums, I combined drunk and drummer in one word.
Has a girl ever cracked onto you and you've turned it down?
Oh, that happens all the time.
Oh, really?
But see, the thing is, when you're in a band, that obviously you can't have sex with every girl that wants to have sex with you.
You just have 17 girls in a row.
I pick the best-looking girls because obviously I'm a lead guitar player, and the ones that don't make the grade, I throw a bone to the drummer and the bass player.
What's your best drummer joke?
Don't you think that's kind of low-hanging fruit? If our drummer was any stupider, he would be the bass player. Okay.
If you had to rape Tommy Lee or David Lee Roth, who would you rape?
God. That is a great question. I think Tommy Lee would probably deal with it better. Tommy Lee is very comfortable with his androgyny.
Yeah.
I know it's a big word for bass players, but he's very, he could totally be a pitcher or a catcher. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I don't think
what about DLR? He looks more like a...
Back in his prime, oh yeah. I would have totally been like, all right, shit, if I'm going to go gay, I'm going to lerp a load onto David Lee Roth's chest right now. But that would not, at this point, he's a little creepy. Like he should actually be driving an ice cream truck.
Now, in terms of the style he's gone for, the overalls, why do you think he's made the transition from spandex to wearing overalls all the time?
You know, I can tell that you really think about this a lot.
Yeah,
I think
I have.
And it's very attractive.
It's important.
I just want you
David
to know
Lee Roth has some important
I appreciate
things.
how into heavy metal music you are,
Yeah.
and the lip gloss you're wearing.
Well, thank you.
I have lip gloss too, Satchel.
Yeah, let's not forget Lexxi's lip gloss because it is quite, it's powerful.
Yeah. Look at
He's a beautiful
And
man.
that's without even whatever makes your lips puffy. I don't have that in there.
collagen.
It's natural.
You don't have collagen, and you never went to collagen.
What do you think made Steel Panther happen? Was it the 90s? Do you blame the 90s?
Well, you know what? The thing is, we never stopped rocking, and we always stayed true to our heavy metal roots. I mean, you can see his roots are actually starting to grow out a little bit.
It's a bit wrong.
But we've always loved heavy metal, and even when Nirvana and bands like that came out, we were like, fuck that, we're gonna keep on rocking. And people used to spit on us and call us names and shit, and they still do that to Lexxi because he's super pretty. But
And they're jealous.
they are jealous, and now we're bringing back heavy metal to this whole generation of kids that are under 30 years old that never really got to rock with heavy metal in the first place, and they appreciate it so much. And some of these girls, parents will bring their kids, and they'll like offer up their kids, hey, my daughter just turned 18, have sex with her.
Oh, it's nice.
Indoctrinate her into the world of heavy metal, and we'll be like, dude, of course I will. If I can get a boner tonight,
Yeah.
of course I will.
It's really
And
nice.
we can't. That's why we wrote that song called "The Shocker," because if our boners, if you're really tired or you did too many drugs or whatever, and you can't get your penis and you're like chasing the gerbil, then you just give her the shocker. And the shocker is when you do
Two in the pink.
and one in the stink. It rhymes, so to make sure you remember it.
This has been very educational, I think, for people out there.
Oh,
In terms of lifestyle, like.
We're an educational band. I mean, I think that since we're in Australia, that's like we're almost like the next step. Like after your kids are done watching like the Wiggles, right, which is a big Australian band, you go right from the Wiggles to like the first Steel Panther record, and you go, okay, your ABCs now, and we're gonna teach you how to have anal sex with like a girl.
Do you reckon you guys will have like a bloated dead on this toilet seat kind of phase? Like, do you see you guys going forever, or will you like burn out and like set yourselves on fire? How would you go out? How will Steel Panther go out?
Is definitely the best question you've asked so far. definitely somebody's going to die in this band very soon.
Who are you betting?
I think Michael Starr will probably die of like a coronary heart attack or some shit.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe like one of his lungs will give out. He's, you know, a little chunky, and he's not carrying the weight well, so he's jumping around.
I agree, Satch. If I can say, it's like we're playing bigger state festivals, and that's a long distance to run from one microphone. Say Satchel's on that side, I'm on here. If Michael doesn't take care of himself, and you know, if he stays up too late or does whatever, he is having a tough time to get back and forth. It's just. But I feel like he's working out now, and he'll be okay. I hope he doesn't have a corner.
You know, realistically though, if you have a chance to see us, come see us, because really one of us is probably going to die pretty soon.
Yeah.
So
would you replace him, or would would it just become like?
Listen,
I don't think you should.
Michael
is irreplaceable.
He is irreplaceable. But seriously though, if you are a singer, please send us your demos now, because we could be looking very soon.
Yeah, because look at Whitney Houston's band. They probably weren't thinking about this before. What's going to happen? Now their band is like, shit, we should have been auditioning a while before this happened.
Well, you know, maybe Whitney should have gone on tour with you guys, so she could like build up her, you know, learn how to
tolerance.
tour.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because you know that's the thing. It's all about tolerance, people. You know, you build up that immunity to like overdosing.
Who introduced you to heavy metal?
Wow, that's, you know what, your questions just get deeper and deeper, and I appreciate the thought that you put into it. I really want you to know I respect your mind, not just your body, okay? I don't want you to think that I'm just trying to have sex with you because you're hot. This is more of like, we're connecting. I can see that we're connecting like on an intellectual level, and we could talk while we fuck, just in case you were
one in
wondering.
the band. I'm 6'2".
Yeah, that's true. Thanks for that.
Yeah. So anyway, what was the question again?
Who introduced you to heavy metal?
Well, you know, I was really lucky because I was born long before heavy metal actually started. So I was
1900.
probably in my 30s already when heavy metal. I mean, there was bands like Black Sabbath. You know, they were Deep Purple, like bands like that were like the precursor to heavy metal. And that's when I was like already playing. I was like, these guys are bitching. But then Van Halen came out, and it was like, you know, you can be super pretty too. What happened?
I have a fucking pimple.
You have a pimple.
Right there.
This can't work, you know. What are we going to do?
What are we going to do? I mean, it's so humid down here.
What are you afraid of?
Well, it doesn't matter to me. I don't have the pimple. He's got the pimple.
No, it's true. But like in general.
What am I afraid of in general? What am I afraid of? I'm not afraid of anything, dude.
Nothing at all?
I'm a Steel Panther, okay?
Yeah.
Panther is one of the fiercest animals at the zoo. Nothing's going to take a panther out, right?
Why'd you change? So you were metal school before. Why Steel Panther?
Well, because we got sued by a different band called Metal School.
Yeah.
They were really huge in Singapore, and they sued us. So we changed the name of the band. Yeah.
Hectic.
These guys have sold like hundreds of records in Singapore, which is a lot.
You used to have a lot of like people jump up on stage with you guys, like interactions.
We still
a big
do.
deal. Yeah, of course
we
you
still do.
What's your favorite guest
Don't give
star?
up on us.
What was the worst guest star you ever had? Where you're just like, dude, can you get off?
That's easy. CC DeVille.
Really?
And he was totally hammered one night. CC, if you're watching, I still love you, dude. But remember that time he was so drunk. He was drunk and high, which is bitching. But sometimes you get drunk and high, and you're like, you forget who you are or where you're at. And he jumped on our drum set, and he was like just trying to play drums. And CC, he can barely play the guitar, you know, and he's a guitarist. And he was like on the drums, and he was like horrible, right? Remember that? And we were like, CC, stop playing the drums. And he was like, woo-hoo! And we were like, dude, we're trying to put on a show here and get laid, and you are making noise on the drums. And we had to get security to pull him off by all of his arms and legs, and just
He's got 2 arms and 2 legs, just like we do.
Yes, he does.
Can you see my pimple on it?
I can see it. I know where it is because you're pointing right at it. It's right underneath your fingernail.
Do you ever you look good in dresses? Do you ever wear them?
In dresses?
Yeah.
Sometimes when we play places like Bakersfield or Boise, Idaho, towns where there's not very many girls, we make him wear a dress on the tour bus.
That's because they put shit in my drink and that makes me loopy, and I do things that I wouldn't normally.
So when do you reckon you guys will make the next record?
Well, it's being made right now.
Really?
Yeah, while we're on tour, we have professional studio musicians and writers. They're already creating the next Steel Panther record. We've paid them the whole record budget to do it. So they've got like $6,000 all to themselves.
Because our song. Do you agree that our songs are really good?
Yeah.
Well, the band is really good looking, and the songs are that good. Good looking people, as history has shown, can't write that good of songs. So
Yeah.
obviously, we are just the good looking. Have you ever heard of NSYNC?
I have.
They didn't write their songs, and they're a bunch of good looking guys too.
So do you feel there's a parallel between you and NSYNC?
Well, we all get laid a lot, except they probably had sex with dudes.
Yeah, that's true. Sad, really.